Fine. I hope the glare is better now. Okay, let us see what were the points that we were doing. We have to start with sex determination. Okay, so how is sex determined in organisms? What are the methods of sex determination? First of all, the first method of sex determination is environmental factors. What is the environment in which the organism is growing? So what are the examples of these factors in which will determine the gender of the child? The first factor, although this is not there in your NCERT, the first factor is association with female. What do you mean by association with female? For example, there are some of the species like annelids. This occurs in case of annelids. In annelids, what happened? The egg or the child which comes in contact, the egg which comes in contact with the female, with the mother, enters inside the mother's body and starts developing inside the uterus. And in this case, when it starts developing inside the body of the uterus of the female, it develops into a male child. The egg which does not enter, or the larva which does not enter inside the body of the female, it remains outside, develops into a female child. I repeat, in the larval stages, once the larva comes out of the egg, when this larva comes in contact with the mother's body, it enters inside and grows inside the mother body like a male and develops into a male child. The larva which is not able to enter inside the female's body remains outside, develops into a female child. So this occurs in some cases, in some annelids. Okay, the second is the egg size. So what do you mean by egg size? Suppose naturally, so this type of this occurs in some of the animals like some sea worms. What happens in case of sea worms? If suppose the size of the egg is bigger, it develops into a female child. And if suppose the size of the egg is smaller, it has less amount of nutrients stored inside it, it develops into a male child. Then is the third type, that is incubation temperature. Okay, so incubation temperature, as we understand what is incubation, what is the temperature at which the eggs are placed. So in this case, it differs from organism to organism, depending if suppose the eggs are subjected to a lower temperature, they develop into a male or female, and the reverse happens when they are subjected to higher temperature. To write down certain examples are in case of turtles, if the temperature is below 28 degrees Celsius, I repeat, in case of turtles, if the temperature is below 28 degrees Celsius, the egg develops into a male child, and if it is above 33 degrees Celsius, it develops into a female child. Okay, then what will happen between 28 to 33? It can be 50-50. It can be either male or female. But if the temperature is below 28, it will always be male child, and if it is above 33, it will always be a female child. Then another example is in case of American alligators. Even in case of American alligators, if suppose the temperature of the egg is below 30 degrees Celsius, it develops into a male child. And if the temperature is above 34 degrees Celsius, if it is below 30 degrees Celsius, it develops into a female child. And if it is above 34 degrees Celsius, it develops into a male child. I repeat, American alligators, higher temperature, above 34 degrees Celsius, it develops into a male, and below 30 degrees, it develops into a female. Between this, either 50-50 chances. Okay, even it happens in case of crocodiles also. In case of crocodiles, at a higher temperature, males are produced, and at a lower temperature, females are produced. So no specific temperature is given, but whenever temperature is higher, all eggs develop into males, and if the temperature is comparatively very low, then all eggs develop into a female. So these were what? These were environmental factors that were developing the sex or the gender of the child. The second factor which can determine, yes, just me, yes.
Ma'am, I'm Adit. Ma'am, I have
yes,
a question. Can you give one example of egg size?
Egg size. Okay. See, yes, I told you sea worm. Write down the name. Sea worm Dinophilus. Name of the sea worm, Dinophilus. I'm writing here Dinophilus, Dinophilus, which is a sea worm. This is an example for egg size.
And मैम one more thing, मैम
Yes.
मैम फ्यूजन तो होता ही है, तो भी मैम टेम्परेचर कैसे कर सकता है चेंज?
Because there's no basically chromosomal demarcation between males and females is not there. Chromosomally, both are alike. It is only on the basis of environment what type of changes will take place in the egg. So that means environmental factors are either switching on and switching off certain genes. All the genes are there. We know environment affects the functioning of these genes. So a lower temperature will activate the enzymes that will result in the formation of male glands. And at a higher temperature whatsoever, will switch on those genes which are present. Just like in case of humans, we have separate chromosome, X and Y chromosome. So genes for femaleness is only on the X chromosome, and gene for maleness is on the Y chromosome. So in them, chromosomal demarcation is not there. The genes are all alike. It only depends upon what genes are getting switched on and switched off when coming in contact with the environment. Is it clear,
So
Aditya?
ma'am,
Yes.
initially if the temperature is high, but suddenly due to climate change, ma'am, it is low. So what happens
Yes.
to like?
It depends upon the time when, at what stage the larva is. The larva, what is the metamorphic stage in which, or the metabolic division state at which larva is. The time at which differentiation has to occur. At that time, that will be the most crucial time, because that is the time when organ development is starting. So whatever will be the temperature at the time of organ development, because then is when the genes are getting differentially activated. Okay, that will affect more, not what is before and what is after, because at that
Like
time when the
ma'am,
genes have to activate. Yes, like
in
we
humans,
have studied about 3 germ layers, 4, when 2 germ layers or 3 germ layers are formed, and after that they start forming the tissues and organs. So at that stage, if the temperature is different, differential genes will be activated and the development of organs will be accordingly.
like ma'am,
Got
in
it?
case of humans, infertile couples are also seen. So are there any exceptions in such?
Environmental factors do not play any role in case of humans, because in humans,
No ma'am,
as we'll study further.
I'm saying that
Yes.
like in humans also, infertile mean species are also there. So
Yes.
like there, in these type of species also there, like temperature
Species,
plays
please.
in.
Humans are all one species. All
Yes ma'am.
humans are one species, no matter where they stay. So they are one species,
So
and the fertilization, it does not have any environmental factor, because we are not seasonal breeders. It may affect
so
in case
ma'am,
of seasonal breeders, whereas humans are continuous breeders. Okay, so that is why
yes
it
ma'am.
has no role.
So ma'am, temperature has any effect to like, are there any in sterile couples in these type of organisms
No, no,
also?
no, beta, no. I just told you no, because humans are continuous breeders. That is why no effect of temperature will be there, because the
Ma'am, I'm
system
saying
has
of
been made
these
so.
turtles,
Turtles, what?
like
Repeat your
turtles and
question.
sea worms.
Yes.
Like I'm not asking for the infertility, like temperature effect of for infertility for humans. I'm asking about these, like these examples you have given.
See, these are the eggs has already been laid. Yes, definitely, because if they are seasonal breeders, their temperature will affect their breeding pattern also. But what we are saying breeding has already taken place. The egg has been laid. After the egg is laid, what is the temperature in which that egg is kept? This will determine the gender of the child. Okay, not the breeding time, not the fertilization time. The temperature after the eggs have been laid, what temperature, surrounding temperature the eggs are coming in contact with, this will determine the gender of the child. Got it, Aditya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So let us proceed. So environmental factors were the first thing that were affecting the gender of the child. The second thing that may affect the gender of the child can be, we know that we have 2 types of genes, autosomal genes and the chromosome, the sex chromosome. Okay, so non-chromosomal, second is non-chromosomal sex determination. On what is non-chromosomal sex determination? In case of non-chromosomal sex determination, what happens? The sex chromosome does not determine, or rather the nucleus, the main nucleus doesn't determine the gender of the child. Some other gene present other than the nucleus determine the gender of the child. Example is only one, that is bacteria. Bacteria, we have the F plasmid, which is known as the fertility plasmid. Okay, so if this is bacteria, this is the nucleoid material, we have a plasmid here, and if suppose the plasmid has F factor present on it, we call it the F plus male, and if this F factor is absent, we call it the F minus female. So the nucleus or the main chromosome is not determining the gender of the child or that organism. It is the non-chromosomal parts, that is the non-chromosomal, any other gene present extra from the chromosome is determining the gender of the child. So this is the only example is bacteria, F plus and F minus bacteria. Okay, now we come to the third and the most important factor for which we'll be doing many subcategories, that is chromosomal sex determination. Okay, and in chromosomal sex determination, yes, the gender of the child is determined by what type of chromosomes are present inside that child. Now this chromosomal, what type of chromosomal, whether X type, Y type, so different types of sex chromosome may be found in different organisms. On the basis of this, we'll be studying about the type of chromosomal sex determination. Now this chromosomal sex determination can be of various types. So let us see. But before we proceed with this chromosomal sex determination, who discovered that yes, it is chromosomes which control the sex of the child? It was discovered by Henking. Henking was the scientist who discovered that the sex that he determined the presence of X body on the sperms of the firefly. So after he discovered X body on the sperms of a firefly, he came to know that yes, there are certain chromosomes like the sex chromosome which have the ability to determine the gender of the child. Okay, so now let's proceed with the different types of chromosomal sex determination. The first type of chromosomal sex determination, as you have done in class 10th already, is the XX XY type of sex determination. Okay, XX XY type of sex determination. What do we mean by this? If suppose the XX sex chromosome is present in the organism, the child develops into a female child, and if XY type of sex chromosomes are present, the child develops into a male child. Write down the examples. The examples are, some of the examples are fruit fly Drosophila. Same thing happens in case of fruit fly Drosophila. And mammals, including human beings. I repeat, fruit fly Drosophila and mammals, including human beings. Okay, so now what will be, we call this condition. In this condition, we will use the term that males are heteromorphic. Okay, whereas the females are homomorphic. Why can we say, how can we say they are hetero? Hetero means two different types, homozygous, heterozygous. And when we look at these chromosomes under the microscope, they are differently shaped, X-shaped and slightly Y-shaped. So two different shaped structures are present. Then the child develops into a male child. So males will be called as heteromorphic, whereas females will be homomorphic. Both the sex chromosomes are of the same type. Okay, so this type of the differential region of X chromosome, in this case the Y chromosome carries only the gene for maleness. Now whenever you study about genetic diseases, you have rarely heard of any Y-linked disease. Okay, all the genetic diseases, if you're talking about sex chromosome based disease, they are all X related diseases. Okay, why? Because Y chromosome hardly has any other gene except the gene for maleness.
Excuse me, ma'am.
And such, yes, just a minute, such genes are known as holandric genes. Such genes which carry only one, or such chromosomes which carry only one type of genes, we call them the Hollandric genes or Y-linked genes? Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, in case of African frogs, ma'am, sequential hermaphrodites is seen. Like they can change their sex after means
Yes, yes,
breed.
yes.
So, ma'am, in which category they will fall?
But again, the environmental factors are determining what will be the gender of the child, because we are not by birth. If this is occurring, then we will say that this is environmental link, Hollandric, or sorry, chromosomal or autosomal. But in this case, the environmental factors are changing the gender of the child. By birth, whatever is the by birth the gender of the child, we are talking about that. Okay, so we will not include them such a condition here, right? Although
And
here
ma'am,
also the environmental factors is affecting, so we can indirectly club it under environmental factors, because the
and ma'am,
genes for
one more
both men.
thing.
Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, it is seen that Y chromosome is basically derived from the X1 only. So, is that a myth or a fact?
I didn't get you. Y chromosome is determined, it is derived from X
Is
only. Who said that?
Yes, ma'am. Like initially it was X chromosome only, but due to some changes, Y also took
But
a
the
form.
changes, because of those changes, majority of the genes stopped working. That means all the genes got degraded, because no other gene is present except the gene for maleness. So maybe because of certain mutations which has occurred, because of which the other genes got degraded, and only the gene that was determining the gender got changed in such a way that it resulted in mutation. Maybe, see, these are all theories which scientists have given. We don't have any proof for it. Okay, so these are theories, like कि mitochondria कैसे बना होगा, हो सकता है कोई bacteria went inside eukaryotic cell, became a part of it, but we don't have any experimental proof. So ऐसे theories, evolution में hundreds of theories are there. Okay, so we're not talking about theories here, which is saying कि अभी at present how is the gender of the child determined in various cases. Okay, so in one of the cases it can be related to the chromosomes, and chromosomes may it can be first type, XX type, or XY type, which is seen in mammals and in Drosophila, fruit fly Drosophila. ठीक है, अगर उसमें हेट्रोमॉर्फिक जीन है, that is XY type, तो मेल है, और अगर XX है, that means it is a female. Okay, so we come to the second type. So that means two types of sex chromosomes are present, both in females and males. We need to remember this, because the next type of sex determination which we'll do in this, the two genes are not present in both the organisms. So let us see the second type of, yes, Peter?
Ma'am, can you again tell about Hollandric genes?
The Hollandric genes is nothing else but the X-linked genes. Okay, X-linked genes, sorry, Y-linked genes are known as Hollandric genes. जो भी genes Y chromosomes पर होती हैं, उनको हम Hollandric genes कहते हैं, और वो एक ही तरीके की जीन होती है, जीन फॉर मेलनेस. जनरली और कोई जीन्स नहीं होती, only one type, इसलिए होलो, one type of gene present. इसलिए another type name for genes present on Y chromosome is Hollandric genes, क्योंकि उसमें और किसी कैरेक्टर की generally genes are not present. Generally, again I'm using the word generally. Exceptions can be everywhere. Okay, only the gene for maleness is there. Okay, then we come to the next type of sex determination, that is XX0 type or XO type. XO से ज़्यादा easy रहेगा if we study it as X0 type. So what happens in this case? The XX organism, they develop, the organism which have the XX chromosome, they develop into a female child, whereas those which have X0 condition, they develop into a male child. Okay, so that means if we are talking about the type of sperms that will be formed by this male, what type of sperms will be formed? या तो the ones which have one X chromosome, yeah, the other ones which have only autosomes, no sex chromosome. Okay, so that means in this case the females have two X chromosomes or two sex chromosomes, whereas the males have only one sex chromosome. That is, if only single X is going, the child will develop into a male child. Write the examples. Examples are, ये इसके एग्जांपल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि बोर्ड में ऐसी क्वेश्चन आता है कि इस वाले ऑर्गेनिजम्स में कैसी इनहेरिटेंस होती है, एक्सप्लेन दिस इनहेरिटेंस, गिव एग्जांपल. इनडायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन एग्जांपल पे बेस्ड बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं. तो फर्स्ट इज बग्स, ट्रू बग्स, ग्रास हॉपर्स, and cockroaches. True bugs, grasshoppers, and cockroaches are the examples of this. Okay, so in this, the males are heterogametic तो अभी भी है, females are homogametic, males are heterogametic. Heterogametic क्यों? क्योंकि एक है और एक नहीं है. Okay, so two different condition is present, whereas females के case में both similar condition present on both the set of chromosome. So homogametic and males are again heterogametic, but इसमें ये unique condition ये है कि एक chromosome तो है और एक chromosome है ही नहीं. One X chromosome, only one X chromosome is present, no other X or no other Y chromosome present. Okay, anything? Any doubts in this? Then we come to the next type of sex determination, and this type of sex determination is known as ZWZZ type. Just a minute. ZWZZ type. Yes, Kunal.
Ma'am, in exotype only female child will be produced.
Yes.
Ma'am, in exotype only female child will be produced.
Why? If suppose the sperms have either दो तरीके के sperms बनेंगे, किस तरीके के sperms बनेंगे? The first type of sperm that will be formed will have the autosomes plus X chromosome. This will be the first type of sperm, and the other will have only autosomes. बाकी सारी genes थोड़ी खत्म हो गई, autosomes तो है ही ना. Will have only autosomes. अगर and females will form autosomes plus X chromosome. This is female, and these are the two types of sperms produced by the male. अगर ये आपस में fuse हुए तो again a female child will be formed, और अगर ये आपस में fuse हुए तो a male child will be formed. Okay, so autosomes are there, right? So let us see the third type, that is ZWZZ type. Okay, ZWZZ type, in this ZW are females. इसका मतलब females will be called as homogametic या heterogametic? They will be called as heterogametic, and the males will be homogametic. Okay, so the males are homogametic, but both have two sets of chromosome. ऐसा नहीं है कि इनमें एक chromosome नहीं है. Both have two sets of chromosome, but the type of chromosome, whether it is homotype or heterotype, determines the gender of the child. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब जो females हैं वो दो तरीके के eggs produce करेंगी. First having autosomes plus Z chromosome, the second having X autosomes plus W chromosome. So it is the females which determine the gender of the child, not males in these organisms. Write down the example of these organisms. Examples are birds and some reptiles. Birds and some reptiles. Okay, तो fowls के नाम से कई बार आ जाता है. What is the type of sex determination found in fowls? Fowls हमें पता है poultry birds को fowls कहते हैं. तो अगर fowls word आ गया मतलब we will use ZW. We'll explain ZWZZ type of sex determination. ठीक है, तो बोर्ड में ध्यान से क्वेश्चन को पढ़ना है कि कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म मेंशन किया है. Okay, then we come to the last type, that is the Z0ZZ type. The fourth type, Z0 and the ZZ type. In this, the Z0 are the females. So again, जो females हैं, those are heterogametic, and the males are homogametic for the genes. But यहाँ पे condition क्या है कि females have only one sex chromosome, the other sex chromosome is absent. So if only one sex chromosome of Z type is present, the child will develop into a female child. If two sex chromosome of ZZ type are present, the child will develop into a male child. Okay, write down the example. The examples are some butterflies and moths. Some butterflies and moths show Z0, ZZ type of inheritance, in which the females are heterogametic and the males are homogametic. इस तरीके से भी आ जाता है. Give examples of sex determination in which the females are homogametic and males are heterogametic, or vice versa. ठीक है? So you have to read the question very carefully. Okay, after this we come to the last type of sex determination, that is fourth type. Chromosomal के बाद भी एक type बचता है, that is known as the haploid diploid mechanism, और या फिर इसको हम क्रोमोसोम में ही क्लब कर सकते हैं. लेट्स क्लब इट अंडर क्रोमोसोम ओनली, क्रोमोसोमल टाइप ओनली. Haploid mechanism. Let's club it up under chromosomal types only. Okay, what do you mean by haploid diploid? You've done in junior classes. Haploid diploid type of sex determination. It is found. I'll give you one example. Honeybees. How is the sex of the honeybees determined? Who will tell me? How is the gender of the honeybees determined? The unfertilized eggs, they form the males. Okay, so if suppose egg plus sperm, they develop into worker bees or queen bees. That means worker bees and queen bees are diploid, whereas the egg which is not combined with any sperm develops into drones. Drones are haploid. ठीक है, but they are fertile. Haploid fertile males होते हैं. They can produce sperms of N type. Fine. So is this in clear? This is haploid diploid mechanism in which when the egg fertilizes with sperm, और अगर उसको royal jelly से feed किया जाता है, it develops into queen. Otherwise, if it is not fed on the royal jelly, it develops into workers. All workers are females, and if the egg is not fertilized with the sperm, then it develops into a haploid drone or a male honeybee. Okay, so these are the mechanisms of sex determination in different organisms. Okay, we know that in humans the sex determination is XX, XY type. Yes, Aditya, बोलिए बच्चा.
Ma'am, how drones are fertile?
Beta, they produce sperms. Simple mitotic reactions होते हैं and they produce sperms. Meiotic divisions नहीं होते हैं, because if meiotic divisions होंगे, again the division will not take unequal division will be there. So simple mitotic divisions they produce sperms. Fine. Yes, beta.
Ma'am, in each of the case, ma'am, chromosome symbol is given different. Why so? Like just because of shape of chromosome.
I didn't get you. Repeat your question, Aditya. समझ नहीं आया मेरे को.
Like ma'am, ZW is given, ZZ is given, XY
Yes.
is given.
Yes,
So
all this is
it
on the basis of the shape of the chromosomes. See, this particular names X chromosome, why the name has been given? Y chromosome, Y chromosome, why is it called Y? On the basis of when we stain them, ideogram जो हम बनाते हैं, that is, we form that picture of chromosomes, we arrange them on the decreasing size of the chromosome. So on the basis of the shape, we have given these names. Okay. And of course, उसमें gene for determining the sex of the child is also present. साथ ही साथ the shape is such that such a name is given to them. Okay. So any other doubt? We start with the next topic, that is genetic variations. Now genetic variations. Okay. Rather, genetic variation is a long topic. First, I'll take up the pedigree analysis. What do you mean by pedigree analysis? Anybody can tell me what is pedigree analysis? See, how do you define a pedigree analysis? Just write down the definition, because in your book, this definition is not given. Write down the definition of pedigree analysis: a record of inheritance of certain genetic trait for two or more generations presented in the form of a diagram, or a family tree is called pedigree. Okay, so what is this pedigree? If suppose and what is the need for making the pedigree analysis? Now in pedigree analysis, what do we try to find out? We try to find out the family history, but not family history on the basis of okay, who did what. No, we create a pedigree analysis in order to find out the presence of a particular harmful trait in the family. So if suppose we know that a royal family of Britain has the problem of hemophilia, okay, we all know that. So if suppose that royal family wants to find out that a child is about to be born and they want to find out what is the chances that this new child, the child who's about to be born, will also suffer from hemophilia. Okay, so if they want to find this out, then they will form a pedigree chart of who suffered from hemophilia, who was a carrier of hemophilia, and on the basis of all these data which are represented in the form of flowchart, we can try to analyze. We can sometimes analyze, okay, there are chances, there are 100% chances that the child will suffer from hemophilia, there are 50% chances, or there are no chances that the child will suffer from that disease. And if suppose that disease is a life-threatening disease, or that disease causes severe abnormalities, then such an analysis can be used, can be the basis of going for MTP, that is medical termination of pregnancies. Okay, so what is pedigree analysis and how is a pedigree chart made? For this, first we need to know some of the symbols. Okay, first symbol, so that means we are doing the pedigree chart. So let us see the symbols of this pedigree chart. The first symbol is a square. The square is the symbol for any male person in the family. Pedigree chart is done for humans. Okay, so pedigree chart mein, if we are using the symbol square, that means it is a male. We are representing a male by square. If we are drawing a circle, then it is a female. If suppose we are drawing a rhombus, then it means unspecified. Okay, now what do you mean by unspecified? How can it be unspecified? If suppose your great grandfather had 4 children and your father does not remember, okay, he had 4 children, 3 were sons and 1 was daughter, I'm not sure. Maybe 2 sons were there and 2 daughters were there. I know 2 sons were there, the remaining 2 were sons or daughter, I'm not very sure. So how will you write, whether you'll mention them with a square or a circle? So means if you don't remember, if the gender of the child is unspecified, you don't remember it right now, then you can use this symbol, because we are talking about humans here. We can't remember everything possibly. We have to find out information. We have to gather information. So while gathering, if the gender is unspecified, but you know that yes, 4 children were there, then you can use such a symbol. Okay, then if all these symbols, they are either colored like this, that is either they are colored, fully colored, or we have dashed them throughout, then this means that they are affected individual. The disease which we are trying to find out, whether it is hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, Klinefelter syndrome, whatever disease we are trying to find out the family history of, they were known to be suffering from those diseases. If suppose they were not suffering from the disease, we are very sure of that they were not suffering from the disease, then these boxes will go empty. If suppose we want to show that these were the carriers, although they were not suffering, but because the children suffered, that maybe they were the carriers. So how will we mention carriers? We'll put a dot here. So there are various methods of, so I'll use 3 different methods here to show you. First, we can put a dot in the center, or we can put a cross here, or we can color it half dark and half white. So these are the 3 methods which we can use for showing the carrier of a disease. That person himself was not suffering from the disease, but was a carrier. Okay. If we want to show matings, that is, this female was married to this male. Okay. Then we join them with this line. Right? If a single line is joining a male and a female, that means they were husband and wife. They were married to one another. If suppose instead of 1 line, I'm drawing 2 lines here, that means I'm talking about contiguous marriages. That is the marriages which are taking place between immediate family members. That is first cousins, second cousins. Within first and second cousins, if the marriage has taken place, like many of these religions, it is quite legalized to marry the first cousin or second cousin. So in case the marriages are taking place between first and second cousins, we show it by a double line. Because why is it problematic? Why do we need to mention this? Because it is because of contiguous marriages, that is marriages between the immediate family members or between first and second cousins, which increases the chances of genetic incidence of genetic diseases amongst children. That is why earlier it was not advised to get the marriages done within immediate families. Okay, this increases the chances of genetic diseases. Okay, so is this in clear? Marriages between males and female, between male and female, and between consequence marriages. Now, as a result of the marriage between this male and female, they gave birth to 2 children. Okay, the elder was a female, and the younger was a male. How will I mention that? I will mention it like this. The elder was a female, so left hand side goes the female, the elder child, and the younger child goes on the right hand side. Okay, so whenever we are drawing children, we draw them like this, that these were the parents, these had these 2 children, and these 2 children, in these 2 children, now looking at this, I'll come to know the girl child was elder and the male child was the younger child. Okay, is this in clear? Now let's proceed. What are the other symptoms which we symbols that we use? The other symbols which we use, 2 more symbols we have to discuss. That is, first is we have to if suppose they were twins, if I have to draw, suppose this male, this female, these twins have been muted now. Okay, so how will I show these twins? I will show them like this. Okay, or suppose one was male and the other was, one was female and the other was male, I'll show them by this symbol. Okay, and if suppose I'm showing, I join this, if I join them together like this, what will this mean? This will mean that they are identical twins. If they are non-identical twins, I do not join them with this line, and if I have to show that they were identical twins, I join them with this line. Okay, so now if suppose, ma'am, please unmute Shivanjay or anybody else. Tanvi, okay, unmute Tanvi. She hardly speaks. Tanvi, you tell me any about your family. Tanvi, you tell me about your family. Start from your grandfather, and I'll draw a pedigree chart. Forget about disease. Okay, let's talk about earlobes. Earlobes is also a type of genetic character. Fused or free earlobes, like you did in class 10. Okay, even if you don't remember, give me a hypothetical events. Tell me the starting from your grandfather. Okay, so first I'll draw your grandmother and grandfather. How many children they had?
2.
So this is first generation. They had 2 children. Who
Yes.
like tell me that type. Okay, these children were male or female? Elder one was
Elder one was female, and the like second is my father, like male.
that is male. Okay, okay. So that means your boy is married. Yes, she's married,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
how many children she has?
2 female.
2 females. Okay. Not twins.
No,
Not twins, Tanvi. So this is the
No, ma'am,
second
no.
generation, and then we have come to the third generation. Okay. And your father married to your mother. How many siblings you are?
ma'am, we
How
are
many?
2 siblings.
Okay,
One
and
is
they
my
are-
brother,
Who's
one male
elder?
and one female. Ma'am, me.
Who's elder? You are
Female.
elder. So that means female comes first and the male comes second. Okay. So now you understand how to create a pedigree chart. This is how you have created a pedigree chart for your family, starting with the first generation, your grandfather, then is your father's generation, and then is your generation. And if suppose we are talking about earlobes, now I'll take a hypothetical. I'm sure Tanvi would have not seen. Otherwise, she'll go home and she'll stare at everybody's picture today to see free or fused earlobe. Let us take for example, suppose grandfather had fused earlobes. Okay, now this character also came in the father. The daughter did not have fused earlobes. Okay, then maybe the gene was present here, your grandmother was a carrier, the gene went to your father, then your father, out of your father, suppose you have a fused earlobe, your brother has a free earlobe. So this is how you depict a genetic character in a pedigree analysis, and this is how you make a pedigree chart. Okay, so the chances we can try to, with the help of this chart, we can try to predict that what will be the characteristics present in the fourth generation when we see. Now how to see this, I'll give you one detail. I'll talk to ma'am about it, and I'll give you just a minute. Somebody's chatting, somebody's saying something on the chat. Great.